I am fascinated by, and I think with the last election, I hoped there would be a realization on the part of some of these celebrities that they all came out, they all endorsed one candidate, they threw $1 billion behind them, and basically the majority of the country gave them a big middle finger and said, no thanks. Maybe they should just shut up.
Well, yeah,
and stop. Just make your funny shows, sing your little songs, get rich. More power to you. But keep your opinions on stuff like this. Just keep it to yourself. This is the Gray Hair and Daycare podcast, with a combined age of 111 years and a combined IQ right in that same range. Your hosts, Frank Sirio and Carlo Russo. Welcome back. Here we are yet again. It feels like it was just 4 days ago.
Yeah, it's weird how that happened.
But it wasn't. It was a little while ago.
Yeah.
So we are back for episode 16. 16, 5 and 1.
16, is it?
Yeah, 16.
Wow.
Yeah, 16.
We're just flying through these.
Almost to 20.
Almost 20.
But I don't know why that is important.
We're going to have a cake.
Have a cake.
We're starting with food again.
I want Chambord.
Maybe
Chambord
20
cake
is when we have a different scenery, a table in front of us.
You know, I've been discussing different possibilities.
I'm still dealing with that table.
With our executive producers.
Kelly.
And thinking about other possibilities.
Sure. Working on it.
We've got some things in the works.
I like it.
Okay.
You're just trying to get your coffee machine in part of the...
I just want my...
You just want to buy something, don't you?
Yeah. No, trust me. I have to buy a lot of things.
I know.
It's already happening. But anyway...
Do your opening, my friend. Do your opening.
As always, I am Frank Sirio. I am 55 years old, and my wife is 33 weeks pregnant. Wow. So we are 6 weeks away from induction and hopefully the arrival of her beautiful baby Josie. So, but where we are right now, importantly, is at 33 weeks, her brain and nervous systems are fully developed. It all works. She is drinking up to a pint of amniotic fluid per day. I had no idea that was what was happening.
I guess you need to drink that.
And that's what's going on. And this prepares her gastrointestinal tract for, I'm assuming, lasagna at some point in the future.
Ziti
for ziti and meatballs.
Yep.
Yes, a little chicken parm.
That's exactly what they say, actually.
So that goes through half a pint of amniotic fluid a day, and
little piggy
gaining about a half a pound per week.
Ooh, so the longer they cook.
The last weigh-in, she was already 4.5 pounds. They're estimated with all the measurements. So that's where we are. It's an exciting point. Now here's the problem.
What produce?
Here's the problem.
Oh, that was leading. Okay.
This one, it still says a coconut. So I'm not sure, because they keep saying she's growing and getting bigger.
Coconut, don't they? It always refers
and I do use more than one reference. Yeah,
sure.
There's tons of websites that do this. The one I tend to use a lot is the NHS, the British National Health System website is really good when it comes to that stuff. So
Frank and his Britain.
I like
British stuff.
I like the UK.
You should be British.
Well,
an Italian Brit.
It would be fun. Oh well. Honestly, Kelly she loves. This is one of the things that I tease her about. She watches these old, and I mean old. She loves them. Old television series from the BBC. Like there's one, I don't remember what it is, but it's like Judi Dench when she was 30, right? Like she's 100, and she loves it. It was like some kind of a situation comedy.
You guys are a perfect match. Because you always watched English. You fancy a good pub and I don't know. No, you love that whole English
We were
thing.
just talking the other day about Toast to London. We watch I like a lot of it. I don't really enjoy a lot of her choices like that, because she also will watch there's a show called, have you ever heard of The Father Brown Mysteries?
Nope.
So it's like Murder, She Wrote, but Angela
Father
Lansbury is a British vicar in this small town, and it's just like I couldn't. She had me watch one, and I couldn't do it.
So, have you asked her how she got into it? Was her family watching, or her mother, father?
She had her mom really kept them limited.
Gotcha.
They didn't get no exposure to
the U.S.
any of the typical. Seriously, like most of the TV, because she grew up in Buffalo, most of the TV they watched was like Canadian TV.
True.
And mostly like public broadcasting. Like, no, like there's still things that I'll be like, how do you not know about, whatever it is?
Well, it's like in my parents' home, you literally have to have like a passport to go in there. You go into another country. The TV is in a different language. Yeah. No one's speaking English. There's a goat in the kitchen. It's like there's a garden outside. It's like, where am I? It's like, what's going on? There's no English at all.
It is a different culture. Yeah, different culture.
The songs are in Italian, so that's funny.
Yeah, but somehow or another, we do have in many ways similar tastes. When it comes to that stuff, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I don't mind a lot of the British. I like British humor. It's fun.
British humor, yes. I do. I like that. We have a friend that hates British accents on women. Remember that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Who?
Oh, I'll tell you after.
Someone. You tell me after.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Let's try and get out of him, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, it's our friend Lou.
Lou doesn't like British accents?
No, he doesn't like the girl with British accents.
Why?
It doesn't. Remember, we're like, what? It's so sexy.
Yeah. Everybody, like women love it.
Now, Australian, I can understand. I love Australia.
Yeah.
A lot of fans in Australia.
And that's a similar
very
accent.
Similar, but it's different.
He does not. That's interesting. I don't remember that about Lou. Yeah. Of all the things to remember about him.
I believe that was one of his. I don't like
could be.
Okay.
It could be.
So
there you go.
Baby Josie is still a coconut.
Still a coconut.
Coconut's
but a fully developed nervous system and brain.
Now, is the floating plates, the skull?
Oh no, that's still that goes. I think almost to a year,
because you can't mess around with that when
right.
It's very soft.
Well, we talked about it a couple episodes about the helmets.
Yes,
and then just recently talked about we had a Silver Fox mailbox entry about them and how they're expensive.
Yes, a couple of weeks ago. Or something.
And then I got a picture sent to me from my sister in Texas. Her granddaughter had one of those. Really? And it was like custom and it said her name on it. It was very cute.
Do you think if we paid for it, of course, we could have our own custom helmets and put our logo on it for our size heads? Would they make it for us?
Sponsored by.
Yes.
I'll tell you. Here's what I'll say.
I don't know what
if little Josie requires one, I will have it put on, but I don't know. Well, you never know. Who knows? Well, she's not getting more active, but I have experienced, this was actually really cool. One morning, we're getting up, still in bed, and I had my hand on Kelly's belly. And I always try to really give as much, palm the basketball, hoping that I'm going to feel something.
Yeah.
So I feel a put right on my thumb. And I thought, and I said, boom, boom. I pushed back. And just like clockwork, boom, boom, pushed back. I got to literally so cool. 4 times back and forth. Boom, pushing back, pushing back. But that was so awesome. Yeah, I was so excited. I even got choked up.
Like I said a couple of weeks ago, I think it's the same. They're right there. They're there in the room with you, but they're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I can feel you kind of. It was
so real. I was so excited. I'm thinking, and in those moments, especially this being the first time, you think that out of the millions of people, this has only happened to me. And I went to get a haircut, and the girl who cuts my hair, she's cut my hair for years, Danielle. I'm telling her about it. She's like, I used to play games. Her older children, she would have them play games with the one in her belly.
You know the
and I'm like,
Simon?
okay.
They have to follow it.
Yeah, it was like that.
Now you do it, baby.
That made me feel a little less special, but it was a cute story. So that was very exciting.
Have you seen the foot or a hand?
No, because even with the extra weight and everything, Kelly is still usually under multiple layers, so I don't get that.
Yes.
That was very exciting.
That's cool. Yeah.
That was awesome. Fun. So, as we often do, we're going to start off with the Silver Fox mailbox. So this time we have from a YouTube viewer.
YouTube. Welcome, YouTube. Thank you for watching.
And I'm going to try to get this one right because his name is Delusional Fishermen Are Thrifty. That is his name. So Delusional Fishermen Are Thrifty on YouTube saw one of our shorts where we talked about George Jetson's birthday. And he was nice enough to inform us that, in fact, the Jetsons was set in the year 2062. So he was 40 years old at the time of the cartoon.
Of watching it.
Born in 2022. And the cartoon, famously of the 60s, was set in 2062.
2062. Now, we were mentioning, we could get to that point. Now I know we have...
Well, you think about 2062. We were born in 68 and 69. So you'd have to make it to 90 well into your 90s. Yeah. But we've had some of our last generation that made it to their 90s.
That creeped up there.
Yeah, we could do it. But
say hi to George.
We could be. He would be 40 at that time. Maybe he could visit us in the home.
That's right.
All I want to know is, when I replied to his comment, I said, so what you're telling me is if I make it to 95, I can get a flying car and a robot. And I'm going to go for that. So that's incentive enough.
Okay, well, the
other thing I thought about realistically was George is kind of the right age for little Josie, right? 3 years older, right?
Oh, you mean now? Yeah, right.
Right. She could be Jane Jetson.
Oh my God, that's right.
Josie Jetson. It could work.
3 years
I love
younger,
that idea.
Yeah.
It could work.
Absolutely. We got to get these kids together.
We got to find them.
We got to do this play date. So wait a minute. Now I'm going to really dive into this.
Yes. Okay.
So he grew up now. He has no flying. He's seen so much. He's grown up. Yeah. 3 years ago he was born.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? Oh, now when was he born?
He was 3 years old this year. He was born in 2022.
2022. So he's
going to see a lot of change.
Right, a lot from what that cartoon had.
Yeah, flying, floating cities, buildings, little spacely sprockets.
40 years. All is going to change really in 40 years.
You think about for us when we were 18, what it was like back then and now.
Yeah, but when we were 18, there were still planes, and now there's still planes. There's still no flying cars.
Yeah,
if there are, they're drones. I guess everything can be a drone now.
Different things happened, not the flying car thing, which is disappointing.
Right.
And I always thought that would happen.
Right now I'm 56 years old.
Yep. You want a flying car?
No flying cars. There's no. I don't know. It's just. I'm disappointed. So they're saying in 40 years, a lot of things are going to just.
Yeah. Some of the things in the Jetsons we have now, the FaceTime.
Yeah.
They did.
Well, I knew the FaceTime thing was crazy when I was watching it with Michael J. Fox on Back to the Future.
Back to the Future 2. That's right. He was
talking on the wall of monitors.
Who was he talking to?
I thought it was his boss or father.
But who played his boss?
Oh, I don't remember.
From the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh my God, it was Flea.
That was Flea.
Yes.
That's it.
Thank you. Yes, he was talking to Flea. And I thought,
right.
Oh my God, are we going to get to this point where we're going to be able to see the person we're calling? Yep. And now it's not. That's like, shut up.
Yep. That's thing.
Easy.
Nobody talks to each other anyway.
Well, maybe we'll be flying.
We could.
When do you think flying cars are coming up? If they're ever going to come out? When? Put you on the spot.
Not for at least another 15 or 20 years.
Okay, that makes sense.
Do
they have it now?
They do. They have the little ones. Technology. I don't know if they'll ever be mass produced.
Will it be based on like what drones are?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Is that what it is?
Enclosed. Yeah,
it's an enclosed drone.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. That's it.
A couple months ago, we had the Jersey.
Yes.
Are they just flying cars?
No one.
Or were they the Jetsons?
No one knows.
But they could
be. The government knows, and they're just not saying anything. Could it
be a car company that is going through the testing of their flying cars?
I would think they would have a better test area than Jersey. Like something, they would be a little bit more cagey.
They expanded.
Like, have you ever seen the cars when they're testing a new, like the really high end, like supercars and stuff? They will put like weird patterns all over the car when they test them, so people can't get pictures and understand what they look like. If they're doing that, the drone people would probably, flying car people would probably do better than the Jersey Shore. They would probably use something else.
I'm just saying, it's easy to do that, and people go, well, they can't be that because they would be better than the Jersey Shore. It's like reverse psychology kind of thing. Like, we're going to put it in front of everybody.
Could be.
It is fun. They said there were sizes of cars.
Yep. Yeah, those are the things that, and then it just disappears from the news.
And then it's all gone.
Yep. Who knows?
So I know we're going back in time now because months ago this happened.
It wasn't that long. It was a few weeks ago. Yeah, stuff like that.
Well, I'm gonna stick to my guns. I believe it was Ford Aerospace.
Ford
Aerospace car
testing their new
but that's exactly
space
what it's
escort.
going to be, right? It's what we said, enclosed
something like that. But I look at that and look at the technology that's in cars now and how it helps people who still can't drive. What are they going to do in the sky? That's a frightening concept.
Well, Tesla drives itself, so these things are flying.
Yeah.
Just put in where you're going.
Well, let's hope.
I don't know.
Maybe that's the evolution that they're going for.
Well, I know who's going to know.
Josie.
Josie, because she's going to be married to the
Josie will know. She may design one of those. And then we got also a note on YouTube from Tom UW20K.
Okay.
He enjoyed my analogy of crying like a baby that's been hit with a hammer.
I did laugh 3 times.
I have to admit,
it's funny.
That is a Simpsons thing. Okay. That was on The Simpsons many, many, many years ago, I think.
We do not steal jokes here.
I feel bad, but I'm going to come clean and say I'm pretty sure, although I have said it many times since then. But he actually said, something to the effect, this is a person, as soon as I saw the comment, I realized who it was. This is somebody who I worked with many years ago.
You worked with Tom UW 20,000?
I did. Tom worked with me at Circuit City in New Hartford, New York. Many, many years ago. Sure. And he said that as soon as he heard that comment, it reminded him of the things I used to say when we worked together. And he said he still uses some of my stuff to this day. I thought that was nice.
You do come up with some funny stuff. That you say to your employees.
Yeah, I do. I say things I probably shouldn't a lot of times.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They're funny.
My employees say that.
They're funny.
They're like, you shouldn't say these things.
I used to love being in the office and you would pick on someone. Whoo! I would just sit there, make a coffee.
Yep.
And it was all fun. Everybody, we were all friends, obviously. So
yes.
It wasn't like you. I don't think you pick on somebody that can't handle it.
No, I like it. I like
John sitting there going, bull.
John, just the other day, we're on a conference call.
You guys all remember John, right?
You guys remember John Taylor
from on the show 3 times.
His 3-part interview. John was recounting to me a story. I called him for a work-related matter. And he said, look, I just have to let you know this. Now, John's 44, I think, 44, 45. And he says, I just had an egg roll for the first time.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, did you like it? And he said, it changed my life. But he's 44 years old. He's never had an egg roll. And he has a lot of things. Like, I don't think he had a salad until he was 40. He has a lot of those. Yeah. All that stuff. So I'm like, well, you know that orange stuff that they give you? He's like, yes, I throw it away. I'm like, try it with that. The duck sauce. I knew.
I throw it away. No, that'll change your life again.
If he had never had an egg roll, I'm like, try the orange stuff.
I understand being picky, but
you know what that is? Is because your parents and my parents, if they put a salad in front of us, that's right.
You're eating it.
The answer was
never,
not eating. Or you don't get to eat.
Right. You don't have a box of donuts.
For John, it was, well, what would you like?
Yeah.
Right? This is why I have such a difficult time managing John.
This is the man.
This
is the man that told us, him and his 2 other roommates, when Krispy Kreme's, not a sponsor.
Yes.
They bought 24 cases and just ate a case a night, sitting there, each, until it went away. I could even have the numbers wrong. Could even be more.
Yeah.
John, if you correct me, please.
Yeah.
But so when he told me I never had a salad, I wasn't surprised.
No. Yeah. But it was interesting. So
he probably has never had soup.
So
ask him.
Maybe not. So I mentioned that, and then like on the next conference call, I'm like, and he's like, I tried it. It was great. Like we've now expanded John's diet. But I like to have, I like to hear about my employees and
so Tom
and
UK
have those conversations.
Or UW.
Tom
used to work with him.
Tom, yeah.
Now he's a listener.
He is. He's down in I think he's in North Carolina now. He has moved on. He's doing bigger and much better things
in Circuit City
than what we used to do. So that is our Silver Fox mailbox for this time, and we're going to move on to a segment just went over before we started recording with Carlo the possible names for this segment, because we've been talking about doing a segment where I talk maybe more about some current events or things that are happening in the news and things like that.
So this is a new segment we are trying out.
We're trying it out now, and we have our favorite name.
Yeah, we do.
But I'm willing to, as we have in the past, put it out to the viewers.
We have another contest.
Here's another contest. So these are the potential names for the segment.
Sure.
So the first one is I'm warning you.
That is good too. It's so scary.
It's a little
it's very aggressive.
Maybe a little intense. So option 1, I'm warning you. Option 2, just leave me alone.
Okay.
Or my personal favorite, and I think Carlo's as well. Yeah. Frank around and find out.
I love it. The wordplay. I love it.
I like Frank around and find out. So and
it's that, and I'm warning you.
I'm warning you.
It's a close second.
Yeah. Or could you combine the first two? I'm warning you, leave me alone.
I'm warning you, Frank around, you'll find out.
Frank around and find out. So what I wanted to talk about this time is, and this was just amazing to me, our new president has kind of started to deliver on many of his campaign promises. Sure. One of the major
within
ones.
The first day.
Yeah, within minutes. And one of them has been to act on a lot of the illegal immigration that has happened and begin a very systematic deportation process.
Sure.
And they kind of approached it, which I think was a smart thing to do, with a worst first approach.
Criminals,
right?
people off the streets.
Yes, go find the gang members,
yes,
the people who are committing crimes.
Who disagrees with that? Think about, but why would you disagree with taking harmful people off the streets? You would think everyone would applaud, but no.
But no. The example that struck me was a video appeared on X, I believe, and it has already been pulled down, and a reaction, and that one has been pulled down too, from Selena Gomez.
Who?
Selena Gomez. Now, I know she started off as a Disney kid.
The witch person.
She's a witch?
She had a witch show.
Witches of Waverly Place.
Her. And then she sang.
And then didn't she date Justin Bieber? She broke his heart.
Yeah, okay. Oh, she's still around?
She is.
Okay.
Now, I know her mostly from her complete inability to act in a show that's really good called Only Murders in the Building. So this show, it's fantastic. It stars Steve Martin, and it was written by Steve Martin and Martin Short. And she is like the third leg of the stool.
Okay, I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
It's a few seasons.
I love those guys. Yeah. Okay.
It's a great show.
Okay.
And the whole first season, I would complain to Kelly as we watched it. She has the acting range of a salad fork, right? Like
there's another Frank.
It is. She's horrible. So I just thought when she was cast in that, like, why her? Right now, but she's popular.
So they're bringing the old people like us with Steve Martin,
right? And they're trying to,
and they're getting the young.
They're trying to attract, like,
sure.
Sorry, but you'd think there's so many other,
of course,
great options, young people who can act, but they picked her. It's whatever. So she posts this video on X, crying, sobbing into the camera. Nope.
No, what happened?
My people are being deported and I don't know what to do. And the children, and I'm so sorry. Now, first of all, I was surprised because I didn't think she was capable of emoting at that level in any way, shape, or form.
Her best acting to
absolutely date. The most engaging I've ever seen her. Right?
Yeah.
And she's just really genuinely, in a moment, I feel bad. I'm like, this person clearly is experiencing real emotions, if not complete stupidity, right?
I call BS.
Right. No, she can't. This is true in her mind because she can't act. So I know she really is sad, and she's saying things like, "There's nothing I can do," and I feel like, and just a couple weeks ago, I was reading an article. What do you think the Selena Gomez's net worth is?
Oh God.
If this was I couldn't believe it.
How much you spent this week? I'm going to get.
She's
a millionaire. I'm assuming millionaire.
She was a Disney kid. She had a TV series. She has a recording career.
$20 million. $20,
50, 100 million.
Maybe, yeah.
She is a billionaire with
Excuse
a
me?
B. A billionaire.
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez is a billionaire. Now,
she could buy all her people.
As soon as I saw that, I thought, how?
Billionaire.
She hasn't been in gigantic movies.
Not at all.
She hasn't had a huge,
record deal or
no. So I'm like, okay, how? Do you guess how?
Restaurant.
No,
that's horrible.
No, not a restaurant.
She bought a team, a sports team. She became a billionaire.
She did not.
She'd need to be a billionaire to buy a team.
Yes.
How? I have no idea.
Cosmetics.
What?
Again, somehow this came up. I talked about this is the second time talking about the girl who cuts my hair, Danielle. And I mentioned, because back when I got my haircut, I had just learned that she was a billionaire. And I'm like, how is that possible? She's like, she and her daughters all use her products. So she has endorsed a line of cosmetics. Now, and you could see just by looking at her that she's in a lab and probably came up with some like fantastic mascara. Like,
I heard she was a scientist on the side.
Yes, absolutely. She's certainly the one cooking up the new foundation that she's selling.
Now we know why she's on the show. Maybe. Her name is huge. She's a billionaire.
And
she's richer than the two legends that are on the show.
She is. And that is amazing when you think about it. So now rewind to watching this video of her sobbing and how she feels so helpless. You are a billionaire. You can literally change the world with that kind of money.
Absolutely.
A billionaire, and you have the gall to get on X and cry for what purpose?
Cry and say, and I can't do anything about it.
There's nothing I can do about it.
A billionaire that says I can't do anything about it. So I'm asking you guys that are living week to week, can you do something about it?
When you think about it, Catholic Charities, you think about Catholic Charities. Now, this is a whole other subject that maybe I'll talk about another time.
Okay.
Catholic Charities is one of the non-governmental organizations that the federal government and state governments funnel money into to take care of social programs, right? Catholic Charities is heavily involved in taking care of refugees. Okay. And they are slightly, in some ways, embroiled in some of this immigration stuff. Okay. She could literally triple their funding with the stroke of a pen. And you can't do anything?
But she's going to cry.
Yeah.
And do a video. That's what...
I'm so sick of...
My people, says a billionaire.
Yep.
What they're doing to my people.
My people. Yep.
What are you doing to your people?
Yeah, not doing a whole lot for them. I am fascinated by, and I think with the last election, I hoped there would be a realization on the part of some of these celebrities that they all came out, they all endorsed one candidate, they threw $1 billion behind them, and basically the majority of the country gave them a big middle finger and said, no thanks. Maybe they should just shut up.
Well,
and stop. Just make your funny shows, sing your little songs, get rich. More power to you. But keep your opinions on stuff like this. Just keep it to yourself.
So
tell your friends.
Not only did she put it out, but you said she had to take it down.
So, and this is the kind of entertaining from my perspective. She puts the video out, and there is an onslaught of people who are just like, "Are you kidding?" Like they just start cutting her down. So she pulls it down. That she puts up a comment. She puts up a post saying, "I guess people like me can't have." And they pile on that one, and then she pulls that down. And then today, so this was a couple days ago when she did it, I see a post from Don Lemon. Do you know who Don Lemon is?
Oh, I know that lemonade.
Don Lemon saying that basically it was a bunch of MAGA people that pounced on Selena Gomez.
Of course, why it wouldn't be their people?
And it's like, really, you think MAGA people are following Selena Gomez? Come on. No, it's because that whole society is eating itself now. Right. And that's what happened. The only way to climb farther up the pile of shit is to attack whoever's higher on the pile of shit.
And they put out shit like that.
Go affect change.
Oh, a billionaire is literally saying my hands are tied.
But I was really I was put off by that, and it did make me think, I kind of want to, because there's a lot of stuff now. It has cropped up online. People just, now we're in the mode of, we're going to point out everything that we think he's doing wrong, right? Even though the vast majority of Americans, I think, are pleased because they elected him on these issues, right? And they keep coming back to just pointing out all this stuff. And I just want to, I want to like think through a form that I want them to check off, like before you post online to complain about something. Number one, who got hurt and is it an American citizen?
Right.
Right.
There should be a checklist that they have to go through. Yeah.
Is this affecting? Who's it affecting? Right. Number two, has it already happened yet? Or are you just worried about what might happen? Because that most of what's happening right now is, oh my God, he eliminated 17 attorneys general. How many attorneys general are there?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I bet you don't know either. And either do the people who are complaining. Who knows how many there were?
I'm going to say 398.
There could be a bunch. No, but that's it. But oh my God, now this is going to be like,
they never even thought about it before that.
Rampant, absolute government corruption because of that. Complain about the things that are happening right now.
But you don't have to agree with every single thing someone does.
Yep.
Right?
To respect them. Absolutely.
Right. If you went down the list of every president we've had, I'm sure there's going to be things that we liked about it and things that we didn't. On the Democratic side, on the Republican side, it doesn't matter. If you put in a good economy, if you feel safe, there's going to be, I don't care what you are. I don't care.
Right.
A Democratic president. But when you are shoving things down our throats, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Like, why are we all fighting about taking criminals off our streets that are hurting our own citizens?
Yeah.
That should be everybody should be agree.
Yeah.
Next.
And I think everybody does.
Right.
But the people who talk about it online don't do that. There is, and you're right. We don't do that now. And I think liberals are very, very good at it. They pretend that their guy is done nothing wrong, and they won't even talk about it. Where you should
his
be
diaper doesn't smell.
You're right, but you should be able to look at, like, I can look at Obama and think he did something I like. You know what my favorite thing is that he did? He deported more people than Trump and Biden.
I know.
He was the deporter in chief.
People forget all the people
he deported 3 million people.
Yes,
like. That was the best thing he did.
But the funny thing is, there's no like checks and balances. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but I mean,
and there's also no arguing with it. This is fun because I get to talk about this. But like engaging online is just a dog fight. You can't.
Listen, we're skimming through things that doesn't make sense, and to some people it might make sense, and that's fine. But we're saying our part in how ridiculous. When you have an actress that's a billionaire that says, there's nothing I can do. You know, I was a permanent resident for 45, almost 50 years. Right? Yeah. And I felt American. The only difference, I didn't have my citizenship, and I got it in 2017.
Right.
Or 2019. I'm sorry. 2019, I became an American citizen. And it's the most proud that I've ever been to go through this process, and to tell me that someone can come over with a criminal record, bringing drugs to our country, the country that my parents took 2 little kids on a boat, came over here with nothing, and tried to live the American dream, which we succeeded. Yeah. And you're going to allow chaos on our streets when there's real people that need to come here for the American dream. Yeah, the people that want let them come that the right waiting. Way, and let them build what America is all about. I'm an immigrant. Yeah. I came here from another country. This was my 3rd country in 5 years. My 3rd language that I was living under, and I understood. And yes, I didn't come from the countries that are coming from now. Right. But back then, we were not liked. Yeah. We were still immigrants coming here, not speaking English. Yep. We felt all that. Yep. Absolutely. So I don't have anything wrong with immigration. No. I encourage immigration. America is immigration.
What I think is interesting, and this is an example of it, there are complex problems and there are simple problems. And this is really a simple problem.
Oh, yeah.
But we talk about it a lot because it is a polarizing issue, right? The news likes to cover it. Yeah. Politicians like to talk about it, and they don't like to solve it because it's easy to talk about. It's polarizing, and it
continues.
Yeah.
You can't stop something because then
the really complex problems nobody talks about. But this is a simple one, and we like to talk about it. It's not super simple. There are steps that have to be taken, but I think there are common sense things happening right now that are good, and Selena Gomez just take some acting lessons and
use that anger when you're acting.
Yeah, I'm telling you, people. That's why I'm telling you, like this, it absolutely was sincere because there's no way Meryl Streep couldn't have pulled off a performance like that, and she can't.
You believe she honestly feels that way about her people? Honestly, you don't think this is a work?
Look, it doesn't mean just because it doesn't make sense doesn't mean they don't convince themselves of it. And that generation are very good at that. Anyhow, so that is our new segment where I say perhaps unpopular things.
So we want your opinions on I'm warning you. Just leave me alone. Frank around and find out.
Or frank around. That's my favorite. Frank around and find out. Because there are a lot of interesting things that we'll be able to talk about.
Dive into.
Yeah.
It's a little bit off the baby scale.
Like this stuff affects. Look, sure. I think about that stuff all the time.
You're right. You're going to be raising a child.
My kid is going to face these challenges. She's going to be interested in these people who are popular that are idiots. Mm-hmm. And I have to find a way to help her navigate that so you can appreciate the talent, the musical talent or the performance talent or the dance moves, but these are not smart people.
That's the thing now that getting back to raising a family, the scary thing about social media, these people that are famous on social media,
influencers.
Thank you. Influencers. Their words hold so much with these young people, man. It's scary.
They wield a lot of influence.
So scary. And I'm telling you right now, and I believe I have some wise children, and still you can see them in there, like being influenced by these people. But they're smart enough because the way we raised them that they don't follow it through. But it's so tough when you see these like, oh, you have to, this guy is this and that. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Hold on. Do not give them any power.
I think that's the only antidote for that, because it's true. The way it's delivered and how much access they have to kids, I think the approach that I want to try to take is to teach them to ask questions. That's one thing that we've talked about with Kelly. Kelly has a conversational style that immediately she challenges stuff. Right. She enjoys taking the counterpoint, and she's good at it.
Right.
And cultivating that in a kid. Because when you hear the stuff, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Yep. Sometimes I'll hear something, I'll be like, I'll question myself and be like, really? I wonder if this is true.
Right.
And then a little bit of digging and a little bit of questioning, and you get context and you understand, and then things come into focus.
It's scary.
But it is. But part of what we have to look forward to.
Well, the parenting aspect, that's when you come in to play.
Yep.
Your contribution to your child. You're molding them. You're allowing them to understand and believe, and is all going to be very important because there's going to be elements of other things trying to teach them as well.
Pulling them in different directions.
Right.
100%. That's true. So we can now move on to, and there's a lot of that. We had some fun stuff to talk about this week, but we'll move into what just happened.
All right.
So one of the fun things, I don't know if that's fun, but it was a good thing. We go to Mass on Sunday, and then we go to Wegmans and we get groceries together.
Beautiful.
And the last few times, Kelly will need a break. Usually by the time we get to around the pharmacy in the middle of
a rest break.
She just needs to sit down.
A little coffee break.
Yeah.
Decaf.
Okay. And so she needs a little stop. This time now, little Josie has changed position and has moved down a little bit.
Sure.
And that, I think, is allowing her to move around a little bit better.
Okay.
Kelly calls it her waddle or her duck walk sometimes. We'll talk when she's on her way to work, and then she's like, okay, I have to waddle across the street now.
The penguin.
When she gets to work. So the baby's shifting a little. and has made it possible. So we had our first visit to Wegmans with no pit stops.
Nice.
So that was nice. And then we have continued with the childbirth videos.
Yes, we were getting to that.
I have to say they ended much, much stronger. The beginning, not great. But then the examples that they went through. Now, the facilitator, boring from start to finish.
Change your blouse.
The content was better. And we kind of cranked through it, and then at the end we printed up all these little handouts and stuff so that we have stuff to review. Yeah. But we
take
got
all
through
those
that
papers
stuff.
and burn them.
Honestly, I should show you. I thought about making that a segment. I was gonna have Carlo read.
Oh God!
There's like these 1-page documents with like 6 little pictograms of things you can say. Things for the birthing person that I hated that about this too. They don't say mothers.
Of course, no.
Birthing person, because it could be a guy named Chuck.
Right, Chuck could be having the baby.
Yes. So it was like 6 things, and it was things that the mother should like self-talk, like reinforcing.
Beautiful.
This pain will give me the most beautiful thing in my life.
Oh, stop.
Things like that. And I was going to have you read them.
Oh, God.
Do a dramatic reading. We could do that in the future.
Oh.
But it was just ridiculous nonsense. But they also covered the things in the last few classes that you really have to be aware of as the birth gets closer.
Sure.
Like more signs, the Braxton Hicks contractions, and to the warning signs, which I they talk about preeclampsia. And do you remember? So
I don't recall that.
So that's one of those things. Essentially means it's the onset. It's a high blood pressure condition that can indicate the onset of stroke or seizure.
Oh, okay.
So it's very, very bad.
Yeah, that's not good.
If that happens, you got to be very careful. They talked a lot about that and all of the warning signs. But basically, the warning signs are kind of all internal, and they're directing it at both of us. And the only thing I could watch for is like facial swelling and Kelly's face. You would never know she's pregnant.
Absolutely.
So I have to keep an eye on if she all of a sudden blows up. Like
you would know.
I would notice.
That's not her
and I'll be
norm.
ready.
Right.
But yeah, so I think overall it was a good experience. Mm-hmm. And then we have coming up now the next level, which is
the real thing. No.
Well, that's coming soon. Is the hospital tour?
Yes.
So now, what hospital? What hospital did
Community, I believe.
Okay.
Is that the one out in the valley?
Yes, far away.
Far away.
So we're doing St. Joe's.
Okay.
So we're going there.
That's got new addition, I believe. The baby. Or
this will be the first time I paid attention at the hospital.
The last 10 years.
I'll be like, this will be fun. So so we get to go do that. I guess pick out our suite.
Yeah, you go. They'll explain to you all the setup and what room,
where to crash the car as you park.
Yeah. It is so crazy though. It brings me back to that moment with my first of not knowing what the heck's going on, and you go there, and the crazy thing is you go there with your wife, and I know everybody says this, and then you come back and there's another human with you that wasn't there, but it was always there. Like I always say to you, the baby's in the room with you, but it's really, it's like you can't touch it, can't feel it, can't see the face. And then eventually there it is.
Yep. They say that's the way hospitals work. At the beginning of life and at the end of life, you go in and 2 people go in, and 3 come out in the beginning, and 2 people go in and 1 comes out at the end.
But it brings me back to that moment of like, oh my God, it's happening. Oh my God, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to see this baby.
Yeah.
Because eventually, I mean, I know you probably been, but you're going to get to a point where I just want to see you.
Yep.
I want to see your face. I want to hold your hands. I want, you're going to get to that. Right now, you're probably getting there.
Oh yeah, I think Kelly definitely is.
Yeah.
And I think
So at that moment when you know it's going to happen either that day or tomorrow morning or whatever, it becomes so real and emotional, and you're like, oh my God, I'm actually going to see it. And in my case, I didn't know if it was a male or female. So big. I was like, I was playing all these things in my mind. Like, it's like a little girl, I'm going to have a little daughter. Or if I'm a boy, and we can, Buffalo Bills. And not that I couldn't do that with my daughter, but, you go through all this stuff. And that just added more anxiety and excitement. Right. It's so cool, though, that you get to bring this child home and it's yours. Yeah. And everything you thought of forever, because I know you. I've known you forever now.
Yeah.
And you've always, I always thought very highly of having a family and children, and now you're there with it.
It's so close.
And now it's there.
It's so close.
It's there. You can squeeze it and kiss it and love it. And, oh my God, it's the best time.
It's gonna be fun.
God bless you. Enjoy it. I can't wait to see the baby.
I'm gonna try. I'm very excited for it.
Yes.
We did. I did do a first thing for that in preparation.
Sure.
As you guys know, we had one shower. We're waiting. The next shower is coming up. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about a shower like in your house. No.
How would they know you have one shower? And you have more than one shower.
We do. I'm at the baby shower. Yes. So we had Kelly's first baby shower in Buffalo. We have the Syracuse version coming up that my sister is hosting.
Yep.
But from the first one and from other people, just we've gotten tons of baby clothes and all the stuff. So this was the first time. I'm the laundry guy in our household, so I do the laundry.
Sure.
So I got to do baby stuff in the laundry for the first time.
Oh my God.
And I was like, now I have I'm good at laundry. I have a very good system fold. I fold very nicely and neatly. When Kelly tries to help, I make her stand down because she does not do it right. It's not right. So, but this stuff is all like, what do you do with it? It came. I let Kelly. I'm like, okay, show me. Right? What do you?
Well, this one is she's folding, right?
Well, she rolled. So she rolled lots of stuff.
Oh, they're rolling.
Roll it to save space, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's not going on hangers.
No, it's not going on hangers.
But that was fun. So I got to do my first load of baby laundry.
How cute!
That was fun. We did that. We also. I didn't. I shouldn't say we. Kelly got her thank you notes done from the first shower. So she was very important to her to have them done before the next shower. She doesn't want to get behind. The other important thing that we did, which I'm excited about, was first of all, I was excited because I got to build a spreadsheet to figure out the timing of how long Kelly will be out, which will then inform how long I'll be out. So we figured out. So I got to key. I keyed.
You mean
in,
out of your house?
No. How much time away from work?
Oh, okay.
So she basically told me how many hours of maternity leave, and how many hours of saved up time that she has.
Gotcha.
And then we tried different models, right? Out for 12 weeks. And then go back 2 days a week and then go up to 3. So we worked out a whole system that basically it's going to be nice. She won't have to return to work full time until like the first week of January.
January? Oh, yeah, because baby's coming in March.
Right. So the next January. So she'll be able to it's going to be nice. She'll be able to go to, I think, all the way to like June or July off and then go back 2 days a week for a couple weeks. And then 3 days a week for like a month, and then 4 days a week 3 days a week for a long time, for a couple months, 3 months, and then go back to 4 days a week for a couple weeks before ramping all the way back up to five days a week.
Okay, so you got a plan there.
Yeah. So, but and we worked all that out. So then now I can figure out. I don't have as much time as she does. She has a ton of time banked.
Sure.
But so I won't be able to take as much, but I think I'm going to, at the very least, I'll be able to have, I think I'm going to take 1 full month of no work. And then I might go back 1 day a week for a few weeks. And then, but I'll be back at it pretty soon, probably by the end of the summer, certainly.
Are you traveling as much now?
Not really right now, but I'm at the point now with some of the projects that we're working on that I will have to start to travel a little bit. I was able to work in when we went to my brother's in Nashville for Thanksgiving. I paired it with some business stuff. So we're looking around for new locations, and that might require some travel.
And that's going to be the new thing, too, that you obviously lived all this life that you didn't have to put that thought in. Now you have to be like, oh, I have to plan time.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
different.
Before you're like, okay, this is my job. I got to go away. You're an adult. You can stay alone. Now it's like, wait a minute. Yeah. I have to, there's a system. There's got to be system in place.
Yeah. The closest thing I ever had to that was when I was single and had a dog.
Animals.
And you would come over. Yeah. Like I would be gone for an overnight and you'd stop over and take care of my dog.
Absolutely.
So different, kind of a little more important.
Right. But that's like, you have to like,
I got to think about that stuff.
Your life now has to be that at all times thought process. Like, oh, I just can't pick up and go. Or, well, I'll take a week off. I'll travel to, because now like, and then you'll start feeling bad. You obviously want to see your own child. Then you're thinking of your wife, or she's thinking of you if she's the one. And that's tough too, though. That's tough.
Luckily, I think I'm for
you. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah. I'm very structured, and I like planning out that way. Yeah. And I like being in a predictable rhythm. So I think we're going to be in good shape.
The best thing that I was allowed to do was, and I think this all the time, my mom would raise our kids, right? I mean, my brother's kids, and then when I had kids, my mom like, just bring them here, go to work, get your life going.
That's awesome,
right? I mean, that's and of course, it was the best gift anybody, where your kids can be brought up by your parents. But then my mom was getting a little older, and it was tough, It's like
sure.
And lucky enough, my wife got a really nice promotion.
Yeah.
And at that time, where she was getting her promotion, kind of overrode what I was making a year.
Yep.
And my mom was getting older, and now the school, my son was getting old enough to figure out the school he would have to go to.
Yeah.
So do we keep him at my mom's and go to a different school?
Right.
Or do we keep him across the street from our house where the school district is? And I was lucky enough, and we were lucky enough, where my wife said, why don't you just stay home? I got this promotion.
Yep.
And your mom's getting a little older, your dad's getting a little older, and I was able to I was a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, my friend, it was the best, absolute best job I've ever had. It wasn't a job, it was my life, but it's it is a job. You have to,
without a doubt.
It was the best way to know my family, to get to know my kids, and I think that's why me and my kids have such a tight bond.
Yeah.
Because I was there every minute. We would go to the baseball games. We'd go to the school things. And it was the best job. I have a pretty cool job now. Yeah. I have a really cool job. Yeah. And I'm telling you right now, when I was a stay-at-home dad.
You still work with toddlers. Just emotionally.
We're all just like running around screaming like Selena Gomez. And I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't give it up for the world what I did. That was the best job ever.
Honestly, I think about that, especially with the idea of potentially homeschool. Yeah, that for me, I love what I do, but we could do that.
I'm telling you, Frank. Even if it's for that years of before school, whatever you decide with that 5 years, 6 years. Yeah. And my kids till this day go, hey Dad, remember every day you would pick me up and we would have our slice of pizza. He would have his slice of pizza and a chocolate milk. And Dad, you would have a cup of coffee, and we'd go to our friend's place. Yep. And it was a daily thing. And he still talks about it. That's his awesome memory, him and his dad.
Yep. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, you never know. Yeah. You never know.
So if anybody's out there doing it, man, God bless you. It's the best job you'll ever have.
Any stay-at-home parent, anybody who has the opportunity to be a stay-at-home parent, mom or dad, I don't know why you wouldn't.
Do it.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Loved it. Love it.
So we worked out the timing stuff. I think that was a good thing, and that adds to the excitement.
Yeah, very important. Yeah.
I have to admit, this has been interesting with Kelly now. She's been doing a great job since the gestational diabetes diagnosis. She has got her diet is on point, but she's said a couple things, and it made me think, and then we talked about it a little bit. One day she started planning her first meal after the baby's born. She's like, I want to have a Reuben sandwich and this. And I'm like, because she can't.
That's hilarious.
But I think
when I get out of jail, my first thing is a steak.
This is it. But we're talking about it, and I'm thinking about it, and it's interesting because, as we've said, we talk about food a lot on the podcast. She does not have that relationship with food.
Yes.
But for the first time in my lovely wife's life, she has had to think about what she's eating because she's thin. She doesn't like sweets. Not that she doesn't like them, but she's not like she doesn't die for cookies like I do. So she's always been thin and has never had to worry about that.
God bless her.
And now, I know. But now for the first time, she's having to think about that. So she even said the other day, she's like, I kind of understand you better now. I'm laughing.
Oh, that's so funny.
Well, mine is because because when my parents would fight when I was a kid, my sisters would put a cake in front of me to try to keep me happy.
That's hilarious.
Right? It was, and I know there'll be multiple I was wrongs from just that sentence.
It was a pie
from my sisters. But that's what it is. But she didn't have any of this. She's like, I started to understand it's that scarcity mentality. Once you can't have it, you want it, But yeah, she's never had to think about I'm sure she's never been on a diet.
As you're talking right now, I'm thinking about food. That's how bad.
That's it.
Right? Yep. I mean, everything you're saying is like thinking, we should have more food in the show. We should have more food on this podcast. Yeah. You're bringing up great points, Frank.
Yep. By 2026, it'll just be a cooking show.
You said Ruben screwed my whole goddamn day.
Cooking show. Yeah. So this is yet another way that the pregnancy has brought us closer. She's like, now I understand why you love cookies so much.
That's so funny.
So I thought that.
That is great. She's planning out her first. You ever hear when people obviously when they're pregnant, a woman can't have a drink, you drink out, and they're always like, the minute I'm I'm going to have a martini or I'm going to have oh my God, so funny. But she's like, I'm going to have that Reuben.
Yeah, I'm going to have that. That's
you know what? I'll take a Reuben too.
Because that's one of the things. I do think she does miss that because she hasn't had any cold cuts since the beginning, before any of the gestational diabetes stuff.
Don't eat that stuff.
There's no soft cheeses, none of that stuff. So, but I'm very proud of her. We
should have a cooking show.
We could.
We'll just tear into something else.
That's it. Then we would have the kitchen island instead of a desk.
I think we just figured out our new set.
Next time on the Great Hair Daycare podcast, it'll be
eating with the boys.
It'll be rack of lamb.
We'll just have baby Josie on the chair watching
propped
us.
up.
You know how the little rocking chair.
So there was the diet stuff. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Now this is another. Obviously, with my lovely wife, we've talked about in the past. Her humor. Now,
okay.
I have to say, this interaction I had with my wife is a whole other level in my estimation.
Give it to us.
She has graduated to a different tier of comedy.
Okay. Can't wait.
So, as we often are, she's over here, I'm editing. And in YouTube, it will give you part of the studio. You just click on this one page and it gives you ideas. So it basically somehow with using AI looks at what you talk about, looks at what you do, and it looks at what's going on in the world, and it gives you suggestions for videos that your viewers might engage with.
Okay.
So one of the ideas was nursery design hacks on a budget. So designing the nursery, I could do a video about that. And like that, not with it. She didn't stop and think. She just said, immediate response was, you could do that. Give your wife carte blanche to design the nursery and then don't do any of it. I was like, first of all, ouch.
Yeah. Really?
Second of all, I laughed so hard when she said that. Yeah. Design on a budget. Yeah. Give your wife carte blanche to design and then don't do it.
Don't do it.
I thought, wow.
But
fun. I do think I may be in trouble.
Yeah.
Because there's always in all great comedy, there is a nugget of truth.
Truth is in there.
And I have to admit, with this, I've had a cold and sinus infection, this stuff going on.
You've been through it, yeah.
And I'm usually fairly highly productive. And then with that stuff happening, productivity has come down, and then learning all the stuff with the podcast.
Yeah, we started a podcast in the middle of it.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work. I've gotten better with the amount of time that I have to spend on it, but obviously, I think I need to be on point. I got to get in that nursery and get it done.
I've been saying this for 4 weeks now. Have you started the route? Remember?
No.
And you're like, I got time.
I haven't even opened the box with the light fixtures in it.
You need help. I'm here.
But I don't. Thank you. I'll think about that.
Yeah.
I have some good ideas about what we're going to do. We've ordered some coloring books, which I'm going to use.
That's for me.
You can color in the corner.
That's for me.
I think I have a good idea for a process of how I'm going to do the walls.
Have a theme.
Yeah, we have the theme.
Okay.
And I think I will. I'll record some of the work.
Yeah.
I can figure out how to do one of those time lapse things where I'm running around with my hair all messy.
Content. That's what we need is content.
We need more content.
This baby is content.
Yes. So I'm going to get on the stick. I promise, honey. I promise I'll do better.
To our producer.
To my executive producer.
That room will be done.
I have a picture I may include at some point. And it's a picture of Kelly and Watson. Because Watson, as big as he is, gets on her lap.
I saw it the other day when I came over.
That's right, in that chair. You don't see her at all.
Yeah,
it's just her legs and Watson. And I'm like, I should put that on the podcast.
I'm still interested to see how these animals react when the baby comes home.
You know, that's something that I forgot. I try very hard to capture all the stuff that happens that might be fun to talk about. Sure. But we talked when I did my multiple book reviews about the dog stuff. There, we have the one with the sounds, and Kelly started playing the sounds the other day quietly, and nobody cared. Baby sounds, crying, little noises. Now we need to increase the volume and try it more and more. But I'm pretty sure, unless little Josie sounds like a Liberty Mutual commercial,
or
no one's
going to care.
A deer. Or looks like a deer.
No.
Yeah.
Have you? This might sound so crazy. Has any of you tried to do the sound in holding that fake baby doll and walk around with it and see if the dogs do anything?
No. That's one of those things that I think the only good reason for having bought that was to have you try it on.
It was just for me.
That has sat there. The baby has not been touched. The little baby doll.
I would walk in with this.
We should.
And see what the dogs even do. Because it's going to happen real soon.
We're trying to let them leave some of the little toys and books and stuff around so that if they approach and they're interested, they can be interested, but they can't touch it. And I think they're going to do okay. Right. They'll be fine. But yeah, so I need to get out of the stick on my nursery plans. We only got a few weeks left, even though in my mind, I keep thinking we got the cradle.
The baby's going to be with you.
We got the cradle wise.
Right.
That and the changing table are going to be in our bedroom. And the cradle wise thing, it'll be a while, but I should have it done.
And once you get involved, and I know you're just going to be all in.
Well, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. You're going to be all in.
It's going to be.
Just like you thought about the podcast 2 days later, you had $10,000 worth of stuff. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
You're going to be the same way in the room.
You're going to do something.
Okay, I'm in. We're getting in.
I definitely, I think.
And it's fun.
Yeah, it is. I enjoy doing DIY stuff.
You're a handiest dude. Yeah.
It'll be fun. Well, anyway, you have made it to the end of yet another episode.
They did it.
You did it.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
We went through many different things.
We talked a lot about a lot of different things. So with that, we will leave you, and we will see you next time. Thanks. Well, folks, that's another episode of the Gray Hair and Daycare podcast in the books. Thanks very much for tuning in and spending this time with us. We hope it was fun. If you enjoyed this week's descent into the madness of dadness, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of our future adventures. And while you're at it, give us a like and share the cast with your friends on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Carrier Pigeon, whatever you crazy kids are using. Have any hilarious parenting stories of your own? Questions about navigating fatherhood later in life, or even when normal people do it? Email us at ghdc.podcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to bed.